Hello, Wednesday Warriors. This is Becky. I'm coming to you through YouTube. Hopefully, we'll get this figured out. We're going to study for our Bible study group the Red Sea Rules by Robert J. Morgan. We're going to read each section at a time. I'm going to record each section at a time, and I'm going to ask you all to watch it ahead of time. I'm going to send it to you via email and the link, and then you can go and watch the section or read it in your book, and then we'll have a discussion on it. I'm going to start with a preface. I read this last week, but also some of you may not have been on, so I want to do that, and I'm going to send that separately. So for the first time I send you a link, I'm going to send you two. I'm going to send you one for the preface and one for the Red Sea Rule number 1, and we will be discussing these next Wednesday. So we'll start with the preface, and you can follow along in your books if you have them, and if not, you can listen. Okay, the preface. The Lord will make a way for you where no foot has been before. That which, like a sea, threatens to drown you shall be a highway for your escape. That's a quote by Charles H. Spurgeon. The Middle Eastern sun was down, the cold envelope of night having closed around Jerusalem. The streets of the old stone city were emptying as stragglers stumbled home. All over town, oil lamps yielded the last of their flickering lights and pungent odors, and embers lay dying in hearths. But a tiny room near the temple, a man named Asaph was awake, sitting blanket enfolded on the edge of a small bed. His world was in ruins, and although exhausted, he couldn't sleep. Finally, he lit a lamp and started reading his Bible. His mind recalled the miracle at the Red Sea, the story in Exodus 14 when the waters parted, allowing the children of Israel to escape the pursuing armies of Pharaoh. Asaph later recorded his thoughts in Psalm 77, where after describing his anguish, he turned his thoughts to the power of God in days of old. You made a way through the sea and passed through the waters deep, but your footprints were not seen. You led your people like a flock by using Moses and Aaron. Psalm 77, 19 and 20. In that story, in that God, Asaph found overcoming strength. Just think of it. The winds blew, the sea split, the waters congealed into towering walls, and the Israelites passed through dry shod. This happened not for the entertainment value of the experience, but to prove to us in earth-shaken, history-making fashion that even when we are most anxious and distressed, God will make a way when there seems no other way. I, too, am an Asaph. Not long ago, I was flying from Athens to New York, dealing with a problem that had reduced me to a bundle of nerves. Someone I loved was in trouble. Grazing down on the choppy Atlantic, I asked God for his help, and then I opened my Bible. The day's reading, as it happened, was Exodus 14. The seat belt beside me was vacant, but as I began reading, I felt as though the Lord himself were sitting beside me, tutoring me through the passage. My fingers reached for a pen, and I started scribbling. As I worked through the chapter, 10 rules unfolded like rubber life rafts, 10 ways of handling dilemmas and discouragements, a divine protocol for handling life when we find ourselves caught between the devil and the deep Red Sea. I spent the rest of the flight pondering my notes, and once home, I actively applied these principles to my problems. I found them then, as I found them since, a powerful and effective strategy for coping with the messes and stresses of life. These aren't 10 quick and easy steps to instant solutions. In my case, it took quite a while to work through the anguish and achieve a positive result. However, like Asaph, I found that Exodus 14 provides a biblical method to process difficulties by faith in the light of God's almighty presence, providence, promises, and power. The Red Sea may roll before us, the desert may entrap us, the enemy may press on our heels, the past may seem implausible, and the future impossible. But God works in ways we cannot see. He will make a way of escape for his weary but waiting children. I, the Lord, will make a way in the wilderness, in the rivers, and in the desert. Isaiah 43:19. When you pray, keep alert and be thankful. Be sure you pray that God will make a way. That's in Colossians 4:2 and 3. The Lord will utterly make a way to cross on foot. That's in Isaiah 11:15. You can trust God. He will not let you be tested more than you can stand. But when you are tested, he will also make a way out so you can bear it. 1 Corinthians 10:13. No sea is deeper than the ocean of his love. There is no army stronger than his hosts. There's no forces greater than his throne of grace. No enemy who can overcome his direct and indirect work in our lives. The reality of the Red Sea, in a word, is this: God will always make a way for his tired yet trusting children, even if he must split the sea to do it. That's the end of the preface, and so look for the Red Sea Rule number 1 video. I will send that next. Thank you. Bye.